So sorry about that, but please hold on one more second.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh, you've noticed we didn't have a song. We are just going to shake things up just a little bit with how much we play that intro. And here he is. Hey Marlon,
Oh,
how you doing?
hey everybody. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm shaking things up so I don't do the 3 minute intro like I used to do. But during the 3 minute intro, I was able to finish setting up the studio for everything. I didn't do that this time, so when we went live, all the volumes was up. Everybody, it was crap show. So now I'm gonna have to rethink this. But with that said, welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show in Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna Hart. And on today's show, as you can see, we have a one-story Reddit, um, broken down into three parts, three videos. Um, I know that you saw earlier that we was going to do the news, but me and Anna literally went through three stories in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to switch it up. I really want to concentrate on stories that's going to affect everybody's life one way or the other. Um, and I just didn't see that this week. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I apologize. I'm just saying I didn't see any this week. It may affect other people's lives, and I get it. It may have been stances. It may have been Al Green's protest. It may have been things like that. I just, yeah,
Bringing segregation back to the army.
really?
He has specifically stated to people that the army can contract with that they don't have to worry about if they use segregation. That will not endanger a contract with the army. Yeah.
So that's why I decided to do a Reddit story.
So yeah,
It's
people
always
behaving badly.
people behaving badly. That nails it.
Mm-hmm.
People behaving badly. Let's see who we already got out there. I was talking to Parker earlier because he was asking if we're gonna have some news or we just gonna do the Reddit story. I told him, yeah. However, if Diaz come on, that can change like that. So
I was thinking, there's a few things that I might want to just dip into a little bit and then dip back out. But depending on how it goes with the story.
okay. Well, if you're new to this show, first of all, welcome. Second of all, please hit that like button. I truly appreciate it. Third of all, we have the ability to take the most random Reddit story and it does wind up being political. We have done it before in the past and we're going to do it again in the future. It's just that type of show and we do not do it on purpose. It just flows out and there you go. But let's go ahead and get started. One story with three parts to it. The second half, we're gonna go ahead and get into Am I the A-hole? Which does have worst dad of the year candidate.
Oh,
So
okay.
tune for that. Mafia video of the week, positive story of the week, a returning real or nah. We haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
And of course, Foxy's video of the week. So without further ado, let's get this party started. All right, the first of three videos, Lazy Girlfriend.
I, 27 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, Cindy, 26 female, since university. Last September, Cindy's company went under. She took this hard because she loved her workplace, loved her colleagues, and loved her boss. Unfortunately, they just weren't making that much money, so the plug was pulled. When Cindy came home and delivered the news to me, I asked if she wanted me to introduce her to my boss. Having the same major, we work in the same field, and my company is almost always hiring. Cindy said yes, and I texted my boss on the spot. After delivering her CV to him and a short interview process, she was hired in a 3-month probationary position. I was really excited to be working with Cindy. We could save money on gas by carpooling, spend more time together, and have lunch together too. Unfortunately, things did not pan out. To be frank, Cindy was a horrible employee. She showed up to the office 15 to 20 minutes late virtually every day. I had to give up on carpooling with her because I have a morning meeting and I need to get to work 15 minutes early every day. Cindy's favorite activity at work was opening up a blank Google Doc and looking at her phone under her desk. The hour we get for lunch was often an hour and a half for Cindy, and she really accomplished nothing in her time there. This continued for 3 months. Last Monday was a rare occasion where Cindy was actually ready on time to go to work together. Perhaps this was because of my gentle urging for her to get her crap together, or perhaps it was because her probationary period was ending soon. But we were able to carpool. We went out to lunch together and Cindy ate way too slowly. I was looking at the clock and encouraging her to get a move on, but at the end of the meal, right when we had to leave to make it back on time, Cindy decided she wanted another refill of her soda. I told her time was up, but she was adamant that she absolutely needed another refill. To make matters worse, the restaurant was crowded and we couldn't flag down a server. I put the cash for the meal and tip on the table, and I told Cindy that I was leaving with or without her. Cindy played chicken with me here, thinking that if she refused to move, I'd have no choice but to wait. But I walked to my car and drove back. Cindy showed up 20 minutes later, visually flustered. The restaurant was a 10-minute walk away, so I'm pretty sure she did end up getting her refill. She has been furious with me since. Last Friday, Cindy got her final judgment for her probationary period. Due to poor punctuality and general lack of direction, my company decided not to hire her for a full-time position. Cindy blames me. She says I made her late and that I ruined everything. Last night, she asked how she was supposed to pay for her part of the rent without a job, and I responded, yes, that's a good question. How will you be paying? This threw oil on the proverbial fire, and now she doesn't even want to fight about it anymore. Was I an a-hole for what I did here?
Not to me. The fact that you weren't a little more strict earlier is something that baffles me. But everybody has their own breaking point. All right. Girl, this was beyond lazy. You didn't even try. You tried not to care. Like, a probation period is when you should absolutely be on your best. Say, hey, company, I will give you all the reasons why you want to hire me. You, everything you were doing, said, I don't care about this job. I won't care about this job. And you won't ever get my best work. That wasn't even mediocre. That was terrible. I was the type who would arrive early to make sure that I was all ready to go once the clock turned my hour. You know, maybe that's putting it a little bit too much on the other side, but that's what I was comfortable with. And I liked the people that I worked with. Like, you had a chance. Now you're working with your partner. That I was a little like, ooh, in the very beginning, because I rarely hear about this turning out well. And there are some very small cases where, like husband and wife or partners do uh, good work in the entertainment industry, but just you and she was 26, he was 27, it was. You're just figuring out who you are. Your brain has finally grown all the way up. And I think you're probably finding she isn't as attractive to you. Listen to that voice. You know, this is a time where you don't have to settle down with the first one that you go out with. Be choosy. It's worth it. You're on mute, Marlon.
Ooh, I'm all off today. Let me work backwards for a bit. And I really truly think that hello, Diaz. I
Hey.
really truly think she knows the truth about this. So I'm gonna work backwards. No, lady, you did not get fired. Oh, he getting the hang of it now. Okay.
It just happened to do right. Don't no.
What happened? What I missed?
He was able to move his face back on the first try. So yeah. Let's work backwards. No, you did not. No, you did not keep the job because you was late from lunch. You was late darn near every day since the beginning of your employment. So no, stop putting it on lunch. That was not true, but I think you already know that. Anna is absolutely correct, at least when I remember it, because like I said, it's been 20 years. When you're on a 90-day probation, bro, that was days I was there before the job opened. Like, I didn't give no excuse. Hey, traffic, excuse me, traffic jams or accidents or anything like that. I was not about to mess up my 90-day probation. That's not to say once I got the job that I'm going to act a fool, but I'm just saying I was going to make sure I got the job. When you kept that job for 90 days simply because there was a contract that said you kept that job for 90 days. Come to America, they would have let you go if you're 15, 20 minutes late every single day since the time you got the job. I'm with Anna on this. You purposely went out of your way. You have to. There is no way. It's no way this is possible without you putting forth an effort to do this on purpose. Well, unless we have that one situation where the person was always late to everything.
I think the boyfriend was a booty.
Why is the boyfriend the booty?
He the booty.
Yeah, repeating it ain't answering it.
So she deserved to not have her contract extended because she never came to work on time. But you don't treat your partner like a child. So the way he did the leaving thing, now ultimately he had to leave because he had to get to work. Right? That's what he can hide behind there. So okay, cool. But where I really didn't like him was at the very end of the story. Yeah, how are you gonna pay for your part of the rent? Like, do we need the snide remark? She knows she ain't got no job, and you also know what she's trying to say to you is she thinks you gonna pay for it. So let's go ahead and have a conversation now. But the way he did it, I mean, I don't know. It's just a style issue, I guess.
I guess that was his shot across the bow of I know you're trying to say I'm going to pay for everything, but I'm not. So,
Right. So I'm saying,
but
like,
it
call
came
her
out
out
as a
on that.
snide remark. It came out as a snide
Yeah,
remark.
call her out on that. You know, have because it didn't seem like at any point in the story that I listened to that he was considering breaking up with her over any of this. So if you're not at that stage where you're like, yo, for real, you can't even hold down a job to help us take care of, you know, our household, right? Then call her out on it. But I don't know. It's a style thing, I guess.
And yeah, Parker, she was really thirsty. Wink, wink. Because even the first part is you've been with your partner long enough to know their eating habits, their speed, how they eat, and everything. And when you could point out she was eating really, really slow, like she now it gets into the you're muted, Anna. So you're off the day too. I'm not the
Right.
only one.
I said he wasn't the only one acting like a child, or they both were.
Oh, she's definitely the worst, in my opinion. She's the worst because
Mm-hmm.
she was childish in how she approached her job. She was
Mm-hmm.
childish in the way that she treated her partner. She was childish in the way that she dealt with lunch, knowing he's saying we got to get going. Well, I need my refill. That's childish. That's like dealing with a toddler, right? So she's definitely.
Hi, Tracy. Yes, it's
Hey.
live. Sorry.
Yep.
I want to put that on there because literally the first message is yes, this is a live show. It is literally the first comment.
But y'all didn't do the serious stuff.
No, we did not.
We did not. I'll you know what? I'm gonna call another audible. And I've done this before. No, we're not gonna do a series now. But remember a couple of shows back or whatever, I said we could talk about the serious topics at the end of the show. So I'm pulling the audible, and at the end of the show, we can have it out.
Isn't the whole purpose of Sunday to be serious? Wasn't that the whole purpose for Sunday?
I didn't find anything that was serious enough.
You didn't. Oh, okay. Well, all right, you're good, bro.
For me,
captain of the ship. I'm riding with you, fam. I'm just messing
sorry.
with you.
And look, apparently a lot of people didn't think so because nobody watched the new show anyway. So,
watch the what?
I didn't get to see the weekend review this week.
Talking about the Friday show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Friday show, you know, one, it's new, so people haven't gotten it into the rotation yet. And two, I think people really are looking to hear from you.
Yeah.
So you being absent is just like them watching commercials. So
I'm getting there, folks. Trust me. I promise you, I'm getting there. I do want to start going on faith. But anyway, if y'all want to talk about the serious show by the end of the show, at the end of the show, we can. But I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all got some things. So we just go.
I'm happy-go-lucky, sir. I was just pulling your chain.
I know you were. And as a matter of fact, I'll even do you one better. If we actually have some time the first hour, let's go. So without no more talk, let's go ahead and get into the second video, which is additional information.
Additional information from OP's comments. Honestly, I kind of understand now why she loved her old company so much. I probably should have seen the signs earlier too. Despite both of us starting work at 9 and her old company being farther away than mine, I cannot recall a single day that she left before me. Even one time I was running very late due to stomach issues, I distinctly recall leaving at 9:05 with Cindy still doing her makeup. And I never even considered that she could be taking advantage of me. I honestly don't understand how any reasonable person would expect to pass the probationary period to a job after being chronically late and screwing around on Instagram all day at work.
So you know what this tells me.
Mm.
She's
Her
Gen X.
last job was a slack
Gen
little
Z.
job, which is why her slack little job went out of business. She was used to this. She was used to showing up late. She was used to not having nobody say anything to her. But you're used to a job that wasn't even making enough revenue, because it sounded like to me you didn't have any good employees to begin with.
I don't know. That's a jump.
She loved her manager. She loved the people she worked with. Now, do that sound like her management was like, look, you can't be coming in late all the time? Do it sound like a job where the employees was like, look, I can't take up the slack for you because you keep showing up late?
So maybe I missed it because I did miss a part of the first story. What line of business are they in?
They didn't say, but they did say
Yeah, they
it
didn't.
was in the same line of business.
Okay. The reason I asked that is there's so many variations of jobs out there. And it sounds like they're on a job that is tracked by the hour. So maybe the job she was at before had more freedom and she's too childish or immature to adjust to what this job's culture and requirements are, right? Because like at my job, you can come in as early as you want to. You can come in 7 o'clock in the morning. You can come in as late as 9. Nobody will say a single solitary word to you unless you had a meeting, that you were supposed to be a part of. But because you're a working professional, if you came in at 7, then you might leave at 4. If you came in at 9, you're expected to be here till 6, right? But no one's truly watching what you're doing. They're looking at your, the quality of the work you're putting out. And are you there from the core hours, right? But then there's a job I had before this one. When your shift starts at 8, that means you are in your seat. You done went to the bathroom. You done got your little coffee or your soda. Everything is done. You are in your seat before 8 o'clock so that when 8 o'clock hits, you're working, right? It depends on the job you got.
So this is something that she was used to. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that she's immature and she deserves to not have this job anymore. But she might have liked the old job because the old job might be more like my current role, where it's get
More
there and get the
flexible.
work done. And
get the work done.
The new job is get here and show me you're working. Right? So
some people coast through their jobs.
Yeah. Some people do amazing work on a flex kind of schedule. But the thing is, if that's not your job, then I'm sorry, you didn't suck it up and do what the job is requiring. Like I had this conversation with a young person at one point. They're like a Gen Zer, right?
Okay.
And they have and I'm generalizing, but they have a different way of working. Like they come in thinking that they are entitled to what someone who's been doing the job for 10 years has, right? They feel like, hey, I should be able to speak to the CEO about whatever's on my mind. I should get all the information that everybody else gets, that I should have all the flexibility that everybody else. And I'm like, yo, no. Act your wage. There are certain things that you should have access to and certain things you won't. And if your job says be here at 8 and you accepted the job that says be here at 8, then you need to be here at 8.
Parker said it has to be a job where you are sitting at a computer, because in the story he says she would sit there with a blank Google document on the screen and look at her phone.
Yeah, so she's got an office. Well, I don't know if it's really an office type job, but it sounds like it. Because if she was like in a call center type job, you don't have time. Like,
right.
No, not at
but
all.
if you're, like in maybe a customer support role or an analyst position, then, who knows? We don't have that detail. I'm just saying it's a difference of the type of job that you have. And whatever it was, she wasn't up to the challenge.
But it's just that one word. I'm not harping on you. I'm not jumping on you at all. Trust me, I'm not. She's not up to the challenge. I don't think she ever wanted to. I think like I said,
Maybe.
like she purposely just goes out of her way to do this stuff. So when you say up to the challenge, it's like, dude, you tried your best. You're just not cut out for this line of work.
Well, not
This
necessarily.
I'm not coming until I feel like I'm coming. And now I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna sit here a little longer. And even this bothers me. Even this bothers me. The fact of the matter is that OP is now with his girlfriend at a restaurant. You know we have to get back to work. Now, if you go to be late because whatever the reason, I don't care what your reason it is, lady. That's fine. But now you affected OP because you expect your boyfriend to cry wolf and say, no, I'm going to stay here with her till she finish her second drink. So
I agree.
Purposely just like messing with somebody else now.
Well, my thing is, one, there's layers to this, even this. I mean, it's a real simple situation, but there's still layers to it. So he is in a relationship with his coworker, because that's effectively what you're in. You are in a relationship with your coworker. Now, your relationship pre-existed your coworker, but that's what it is. So when you're getting ready for work and you're carpooling in, that is your relationship. Once you get to work, you're coworkers. So you went to lunch with your coworker. You didn't go to lunch with your girlfriend. All right. You and your coworker are going to lunch and you will meet your girlfriend at lunch, but you and your coworker are going back to work. Okay. So when it's time to go, I didn't leave my girlfriend. I left my coworker.
Okay. that I got you.
But she would never process it that way. I mean, most people would never process it that way. It's just my weird warped mind. But that's the scenario that he was in. This is one of the reasons why you say you don't poop where you eat, right? You start twisting those worlds together and you get complexities and confusion and stuff. But what I was saying, she's not up to the challenge. I think it's just a difference in how we're viewing that term, right? So I'm not saying that she tried her best and she just wasn't able to do it. No. She didn't try her best for what we can tell. I'm saying that you just simply were not ready to do the thing, right? It's not even that you tried hard or tried hard enough or whatever. It's like you are supposed to be a hurdler. And your event to run the hurdles is at 10 a.m. And you are decent at running the hurdles, but you don't show up until 11. You are not up to the challenge of competing in your race. I don't care what your actual abilities are. You didn't meet the bare minimum of showing up on time. That's kind of what I clumsily meant.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the last video. See how this wraps up.
Last week, I, 27 male, talked about how my girlfriend, Cindy, 26 female, blew her probationary period for the job I got her completely. She was chronically late, unproductive, and she took 90-minute marathon lunch breaks. She claims that I sabotaged her because instead of being late when getting back to work, I left her at a restaurant when she wanted another refill of her soda. Anyway, Cindy decided she was going to take some time off work for her mental health. Of course she did. Knowing that she had absolutely no savings, I asked how she was going to contribute to rent, groceries, and utilities, but Cindy said that wasn't my concern. What? I decided to be upfront and flat out tell her not to expect me to financially support her. She responded by calling me a low provider, whatever that means. It's also not right because I'm more of a no provider. I'm not into arrangements where I financially support a woman for companionship. At this point, I knew that our relationship was basically over, but I decided that I'd stay in the apartment we rent for the next 2 months, as we have paid our rent in full until the end of May, and then leave. Then Cindy began taking steps to actively sabotage me at work. For example, last Friday, when I was getting ready for work, I couldn't find my shoes. After letting me look for them for 15 minutes, Cindy finally said that she washed them. I'm fairly sure Cindy has never washed anything other than a plate or her own laundry, but on Friday morning, she abruptly decided to wash my shoes. Right, they were soaking wet. I had to wear an old pair of Crocs that were 2 sizes too small to the office that day. On my way home, I bought new shoes and kept them in my car. Then, Cindy began spamming me with texts during a meeting on Saturday, one I had told her I was having, saying there was a guy banging on our door. She insisted I needed to come home right away. I checked our Ring camera and saw nothing. When I texted her back saying so, she said it must have been the neighbor or something. It's worth mentioning here that I can see the neighbor's door on the camera too, and nobody was banging on it either. I got the picture of what was going on, and realizing the next escalation would be having my tires slashed or brakes cut, after work that day, I went back to our apartment, gathered my belongings, and left. Cindy naturally went off the rails, but I got out safely. Now I'm at my buddy's house for a few days until I can find a new living situation. Thank you for all the advice you gave me. I'm sure this can act as a cautionary tale in various ways. Unfortunately, I'm kinda out of it after all this drama, so I'll leave that part up to you.
Well, that escalated quickly. No, I mean, hey, you know, bad relationships end weird. Different people don't let go easily. And I don't see where he could have anticipated this or made any better decisions. Once it got bad, he left. And that's the best advice I can give a young man, you know, or a young lady, is once it starts to spiral, don't wait for it to hit bottom. Just go ahead and leave. And sometimes it means you got to leave in the less than opportune situation. This case, rent was paid up to the end of May, so you wouldn't have been any real issue. You can tell the landlord, hey, I'm leaving. You gave them their 30 days or 60 days, whatever your requirement is, and you're good. But let's say that you had to get out now. Get out. And still send the money to the landlord for what you have to do, but you need to get yourself out of these situations. Marlon, I can't hear you.
You're muted, honey.
Sorry, I went on and changed the title of the show, so sorry. Didn't play it in the background. That's a funny visualization, imagining someone showing up to work wearing office-type clothing except for a tiny pair of Crocs on their feet.
That was petty.
You got to do what you got to do. I mean, you're the one's uncomfortable, but you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, this woman's a trip. I'm sorry. She you did right. You got out the situation. Me personally, if I was you, I'd go to HR and let them know, hey, we ain't together.
She don't work there no more.
I'm not taking a chance of her not coming to the job, though. Acting a fool.
Okay, what was the whole I need to take a mental illness break?
Oh, she did say that, didn't she?
I need to take
a mental health break.
Yeah.
So she's still technically employed by them?
No, she's taking they did not extend her contract. She doesn't have a job. Now she's also saying, I'm not even going to look for a job because I need to take a mental health.
Oh, okay. I thought she was saying she filed with her employer.
No,
I thought so too.
I'm taking a mental health break.
You don't take no mental health break when you unemployed. You unemployed. No. Who are you reporting to? You know what I'm saying? Who are you reporting to? I need a day off from being off.
That's exactly what she's saying. So you remember we was talking earlier, Theas, of saying something without actually saying something. That was her way of saying, and I'm not going to look for another job no time soon. So yeah,
I like how he said, I'm not, and this is something I've always believed ever since I was young. but I don't pay for your company. All right, so I don't need to pay to have a companion. What? That's called prostitution. So what I'm gonna do, I pay for experiences, I pay for comforts, I pay for things like that. I don't pay for the person. So yeah, I like that he was astute enough
I didn't remember
to
the
draw
word
that line.
used.
Yeah.
You're low level or something like that.
A low level provider.
A low level
Like
provider.
you're a girlfriend. What are you talking about? I don't provide
and
for
he came back
girlfriends.
with I'm a no level provider.
You don't pay for me was
I like
her
him.
problem.
Yeah, because she's looking for a provider.
And thing is, I have the same
Or
thing.
a
I
donor.
say it differently. I say the same thing as you, but I say it differently. I can't afford to be with you. Which means I can't. You being in my life is detrimental to my finances. It's just easy for us to just part ways. For I wind up in the same boat as you. And I'm not trying to be like that. And you okay being at that level? That's cool. You do you. I live a certain standard of life. And I want to keep it that way. When we was contributing at the same time, we were both living a certain standard of life. I didn't say the same standard, but a certain standard. But now, since you're not providing anymore, now I have to take away from my standard to sustain your standard, and I can't afford that.
Which is why I love how he said, I'm not a low level provider, I'm a no level provider. Right. However you want to split these bills, if it's 50-50, 60-40, or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. People got their different ways of structuring themselves. It looks like she was looking for a donor and a sponsor, and he wasn't looking to adopt. So
you got anything?
She seemed to be one of those people that she looks for the easy coast throughout life, whether it's a job, the relationship, friendships. It just, that's the feeling I got. Because she just was I'm not putting in my best. Like, I never got that from her. And I saw, they weren't quite red flags yet, but I saw the flags early on. And I also saw the way that he did not confront her when, this became obvious that it was a regular thing for her to be late. Hey, we're both in this job. And that's when he was thinking, hey, we could both take the same car and we could save on gas, stuff like that. Are we doing this together or not? That would have been my move to get more clarification. But my one quack with the guy, he didn't confront anything about this. He let it slide to the point where suddenly she is blackmailing him or doing wacky shit with his shoes. So
he didn't confront her, he adjusted.
Yeah.
Which I get.
I get it. People who don't.
It's not the same because we're carpooling. Now you're affecting my job, so we're not carpooling no more. Yeah. You're still late. So you're adjusting instead of confronting, like, look, we're in this, like whatever said. I agree with that. Exactly what you said. Are we in this together or not?
We don't know. So I don't know. I get you. I'm with y'all and I get it. But I'm looking at it like in the flow of a relationship, right? Because that's what complicates this. Is that he's in a relationship with this person. So over the 90 days, based on how he told the story, sure, he dropped a few hints. Hey, we can't keep being late. Hey, you might want to wake up early because we got to get to moving, right? So in his way, he is confronting it. He just didn't go head on. And then it got to the point where he's like, wait a minute, I gotta get back to work. And you are drawing a line in the sand. You're in this moment, you're pulling my card, right? We are out here and you are trying to assert some form of dominance over me because the refill isn't the issue. The issue is you exerting your will over me. Right. And when that clicked for him, he was like, no. Yeah. That was when the line was crossed. He's like, no, you're not going to dominate me. All right. And from that point forward, he was in confrontation mode. Right. Because up until then, he probably wasn't. Up until then, he was probably dropping hints. He's trying to, do the whole, are we in this together in a softer kind of way? Because you don't want to make your partner mad, But then at that point, he was like, okay, wait. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do this. And then it started to escalate. But he knew enough of himself that he was like, okay, I can let this go.
That's good. Yep.
All right, Anna, go ahead and make your last point because I know I interrupted you.
I didn't have anything more. That was it.
All right. 20 minutes or 25 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. And it is, y'all have the floor for all this serious stuff. And I will contribute.
That's really awkward. What in the world?
Okay, I'll start off then. I texted earlier that I did not like what Al Green did during Trump's whatever you want to call it. That thing had like 50,000 names. I don't even care no more.
Yeah,
whatever it was, he was
addressed to Congress. Yeah,
he was addressed to Congress. Okay,
that's it.
I didn't like it because I was one of the few that just said I'm not showing up. I'm just not coming. So I didn't like it. It just felt like all eyes on me mentality and things like that. And that's how I feel about it. Now, what he did during the when Congress was going to censor him, the votes and everything else, that I did like. I actually did like the protest. I don't even know what it's weird. I don't know why this. I was like, yeah. It was I'm weird. I can live with that.
It's funny because we're like flipped.
I know. I just
because I'm like
I guess this is my thought process. When it came to the address to Congress, it was in his power to just say, I'm just not gonna go. I don't like this dude. I don't like what he represents. I'm just not gonna go. But when they decide to censor him, trying to forget all the things that Laura Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene did, and if I remember, were they censored or were they not censored?
I think they censored Lauren once. No, not Lauren. I mean Marjorie once. Didn't they?
Well, okay. When MTG screamed out "liar" and that with Joe Biden's State of the Union address, they did not censor her.
Oh, okay.
And they did not escort her out of the building.
Nope. There were no consequences.
Yeah, that's why I said
because it takes your own party to discipline you for the most part. But go.
So my thought process is, since we ain't gonna be fair, since we obviously not gonna be fair, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and act the fool down here. I'm gonna go ahead and protest this censorship. Why? It ain't gonna make anything. No, it ain't gonna make nothing better or different. You're gonna censor me whether I'm sitting down in a chair over there with my head down and my hands in my lap, or I'm standing up in front of you, chair.
Well, so
he didn't protest the censorship, though.
Yeah, he took that.
He said, I am not angry at the speaker. I am not angry at the people who took me out of the room. They did as they were supposed to do. He's like, I meant what I said.
Civil
disobedience. I wanted the president to know there was no mandate, and there was not. The numbers are not there. And he was terribly worried. is terribly worried for Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, all the things that could be on the chopping block.
Hmm.
And I have been waiting
Agreed, Parker.
for some of our Congress people or senators to stand up to this regime. And this little bit, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, so as I kind of commented in the thread, so what a lot of people aren't aware of is if the Democrats had chosen not to attend, then the Republican Party would have the ability to invite staffers. So what would have happened is you would have had Republican staffers and flunkies sitting in the Democrat section. And from a camera view, from an observational view, you wouldn't know the difference. No one knows who all these people are. So they just would have seen the entire house clapping and standing and all of that. And they would have blamed the Democrats for clapping. And it wouldn't matter if you said those weren't the Democrats. It doesn't matter. I saw what I saw, and that's what it is, right? That's how the American people are structured. So that's the first part. So the Democrats needed to show up. The second thing is, all right, so I am not a civil disobedience person, but I'm not against civil disobedience either. So I'm looking at Representative Green and I'm saying, okay, for his age and from the era that he hails from, what he did was incredibly brave, and no one would have noticed if he didn't come, but they will notice that he was taken out, right? So he did more in that moment than all the rest of his colleagues. So I appreciate that which he did, right? Is it my style? No, but it probably would have been a similar track that I would have taken in the circumstances, right? So he stood up, he spoke, he was shouted down, then he was escorted out. What I would have liked to see happen was the moment the sergeant of arms came and walked him into the aisle, the moment he got into the aisle, another Democrat should have stood up.
Yep.
And then when they got him walked out and had to come back down and get this Democrat, another Democrat would stand up. And they would have just kept doing that and monopolized all the time. I would have liked to see that happen. But instead, what happens is he's the only one who made took advantage of the moment, and he did it much more civilly than the knuckleheads on the other side of the aisle would normally do. And then notice no one was really criticizing the Republicans for the na goodbye. They didn't get criticized for that. The Democrats got criticized for not being civil, but that was civil. See, so when you're up against an indecent adversary, you cannot get hung up on decency. It's foolish, and the people on the left constantly fall into that trap, right? And then they do the thing, well, like we had mentioned a moment ago. Well, MTG did her thing, and then he does his thing, but they didn't do it. He's black, she's white, she's a woman, he's a man. Guess what? We in America, it ain't gonna be the same. So those are my critiques on that piece. Now, the next part where he got censored, he took it like a champ. He said that's what he was going to do, and he knew that he's been there for so long. He knows censure don't mean nothing anyway, you know. No. So that was cool, whatever. But I was so disappointed. Y'all didn't stand up when he got walked out that joint.
Yeah.
But then you're going to come down to the floor and you're going to sing the Negro spiritual or hymnal. Seriously? We shall overcome? Seriously?
Not with y'all.
You going to make, no, hear what I'm saying.
I always had a problem with not being strategic.
Thank you.
And out their actions.
Because the Democrats still have this mentality, and it's going to And it always bites them in the butt. Oh, I keep forgetting this the first time. And it always bites them in the butt always. We have to take the high ground. Yeah. We have to do the right thing. We have to be there. We have to show America what class is.
Right, which is ridiculous. But that's what happens when all the people who lead your group are 70 plus years old. Yeah. Okay, they tired. They ain't trying to do none of the other stuff. But my thing is this, I got to come with the blackness here. Stop bastardizing and pimping our culture for the benefit of other people and other fights. Yeah. We shall overcome was part of our mantra fighting against Jim Crow, where we were the direct targets of everything that was happening, and it was on the basis of our race. Yeah. Okay? To go down there in your little multicultural circle and huddle around this man and sing our song in that moment was deeply insulting to all of our predecessors and ancestors, because that's not what they were fighting for. That's not what they were singing about. Okay, this is one man who took a stand on the basis of the social safety net. He was not taking a stand on the basis of Black people, right? He was saying this for all citizens of America that are in need, whether because of age or ability. We should be taking care of the least of those among us. That was his stance. That song doesn't go with that, right? So it was like you're literally taking the civil rights movement and you're pimping it for these moments. And I'm sorry, this is what white liberals love to do. They do this time and time and time again. They bring up Martin Luther King when it's time to fight for something they want. They bring up the civil rights movement when it's time for something they want. And we are the first ones standing up front doing it with them. That moment made me think of, what's that lady's name from San Francisco? The speaker, the old speaker, Nancy Pelosi. When she decided to take a knee in her little kente cloth outfit.
I was just thinking of that.
So, I could not think of her. I could not think of the kente.
Right. So but that's what that is.
Image popped in my head. Like, I'm not trying to insult anybody. Nancy Pelosi, you about the whitest woman I ever seen in my life. I'm sorry.
But no, so the kente cloth is a Black thing. But her showing in solidarity would have been fine if it wasn't just a pageantry move. But what I'm saying is it's how it kind of reflects on this moment, because when we look at this attack, we are being attacked. The Black community is being attacked right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. But that's not what this moment was about. And so what they did was deeply inappropriate, deeply inappropriate, because by and large, the Black community has been standing on code. We are not getting involved in the immigration thing. We're not getting involved in the Musk thing. We're not getting involved in the Trump executive order thing. We're not getting involved in any of this political crap. We are standing down. That is the message. That is code. And what they did was they took the Black community and made us the focal point of resistance in a moment that we're not playing that role. Because now all the media is focusing on that, because it triggers the memory of Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement. But we're not fighting that battle right now. So
they did that for a trigger.
Yeah.
They did. And now they're going to play into the hands of the people.
What I'm saying is they sung that song to pull us into the fight. That is their way of saying, we're with you.
No, they weren't even thinking that deep, bro.
Oh, no.
It was all
with us. They're not going to be with us. I'm just saying, they're that solidarity, Black hymn.
Yeah.
To say to the Black community.
They weren't talking to us, bro. I promise
They're
you. I
never
promise
talking
you.
to us anyway.
No. These were black politicians I'm talking about. So, what I'm telling you is they weren't talking to us. They were doing what most figurehead, seat filling, gatekeeping black people do. They were talking to white folk. They were virtue signaling to white folk. This was not them talking to the black community because we ain't listening to them, right? So it was yet again a time where they should have just, if they wanted to go up there, then go up there to support that man in his moment. But do not pull the rest of us in with that song or a song like it, because you know what it does. It now makes us the focus. We have been working so hard not to be the focus, because America, if they can make us a focus, it lets the rest of America off the hook. When they made DEI about black people, it let everybody off the hook. When they made CRT about black people, it let everybody off the hook. The fact that black folks have not stepped into this particular set of fights has forced other groups to work harder than they normally would have to. Our absence is powerful. But we just walked in there and was like, hey, we shall over. Come on, bro.
Sort of like in 2016 when the Republicans in the House bought the gun control bill and the Democrats in Congress saying,
Thank you.
We shall
Pandering.
come to change it to we shall pass a bill someday.
Which destroys the power of that song and what it meant.
And Tracy asked, when is Foxy going to be a panelist? She's doing good right where she at.
I don't even like politics like that. It just brings out the worst in people, especially me.
And they was off key. Look.
That's because you can hear stuff like that, Tracy. I can't hear it. It's just a bunch of people making noise. You got an ear for music. I ain't got it.
Me either. I don't even have a voice for it either.
But one of the points Foxy just made, and this isn't coming for you, Foxy. This is just one of the things that a lot of people feel genuinely. They truly feel this.
Say it, bro.
Where they not into the whole politics thing.
Wait a minute, things you didn't hear what she said.
She said, "Say it, bro."
No, she said, "I ain't scared of you. Say it, bro."
Oh no, I ain't hear all that. But if one thing I know Foxy ain't scared. So what I was saying is, now I'm kind of lost what I was saying. Oh no, I still kind of lost what I was saying. Oh, about politics. This isn't just politics, right? This is social. This is your community. This is your history. This is all the things. This is all the things. And politics, I think, has been mislabeled to basically keep people out of the discussion, right? They'll say, let's not make this political, but really they're saying, I want you to be quiet. Yeah. And so if we can make it feel like you're being sucked into a Democrat Republican argument, then people will be like, oh no, I don't want nothing to do with that. That's no. But the reality is bigger than that, right? The politics is how resources are allocated. Politics is what laws are going to be put in place that curb your freedoms or things like that. Politics is how we make sure that your elderly mother or father has access to their Social Security benefits or their VA benefits that they worked hard for, or making sure that your niece or your nephew, when they have a baby, that baby can get immunized and vaccinated properly, and making sure that women are able to have their health care not listed as women's health care, but as health care, so that there's no delineation. Like if I want to go to the doctor and get a boner pill, ain't nobody gonna get in the way of that. But you want to go to the doctor and have a hysterectomy or have your tubes tied because you have made a conscious decision that you do not want to have children, you shouldn't have to sit here and have a 3-panel discussion on the decisions that you're making, right? So technically that's politics, right? Education. Politics is now intruding, was always been in education, but it's truly intruding now. We're going to have, it's about to get real bad, because I think in this week, Trump is expected to sign his executive order to officially shut down the Department of Education. All right. That McMahon lady has been in place for 2 weeks now, and she has everything lined up and ready to flip the switch and turn it off, which will bring back the era of segregation academies and will make it so anybody whose child is benefiting from a Title I type program, that's an independent learning program, that's English for second English as a second language, that's parapros being in the class, being to help a child who has learning disabilities or physical disabilities get some education, all of that, the free lunch programs, the after school programs, because your family can't afford to put your kid in daycare because daycare is $1,500 a week, but you can keep your kid at school for free for a couple hours each day. All that's gone.
Yeah, it's already affecting childcare on the federal level.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying, like, to the people out there, politics, we fell asleep at the switch because we were so disgusted with how politics is done. But my thing is, we haven't been doing politics right. And the people who have been doing politics right are about to do us all wrong.
Before y'all move on to the next hour, can y'all briefly share if y'all have any thoughts on Andrew Cuomo announcing he's running for New York mayor? He knows Eric Adams is vulnerable.
So we're gonna go from filthy to dirty.
Okay.
Thank you, because I couldn't come up with anything. I literally could not come up with anything. I was like, is there? Okay, I'll give you something, Thea. Is there a difference?
Yes.
What's the difference?
So
just give me that one.
So here's a couple differences. Eric Adams was a registered Republican who turned Democrat simply for the purposes of winning the election, and has governed as a Republican the entire time that he was there. And he is deeply corrupted, and his corruption has affected multiple departments within the local government. And he's now become captive to the Trump administration to do their will in order to keep him out of prison. That's a lot of bad. That's just a lot of bad. Then you have Cuomo. His biggest crime was he's a sexual abuser as far as harassment. I don't think he actually got like a sexual assault charge. I don't know. But I know he's a sexual harasser. And it was enough to get his butt up out of there. But he wasn't truly like known for being corrupt. He's just a bad dude, right? So there's a difference there. There's a difference in intensity in the nature of what's bad with them. Neither of them should ever be in that position of authority again. But we're in a period of time where political corruption and malfeasance is no longer a barrier to entry. Now it's about celebrity, period, point blank. So now,
and he has the family name to ride in on that.
So he can use his celebrity to come in, and then he's just gonna be a smoother version of Eric Adams. And another problem here is Eric Adams, because of his skin tone, he is the representative of all Black politicians in New York, whereas Cuomo is a representative of himself. No one says that all Italians are like Cuomo. No one will punish all white passing people because of Cuomo. But they will now label any Black politician even remotely attached. What in the world? Come on, man. God. Even remotely attached to this Eric Adams, right? So
you gotta have to learn how to stop talking with your hands.
I can't help it, man. I've been talking with my hands since forever. But that's that. To answer your question, that's the difference.
That's the difference. All right, Anna, you got anything?
Not to add on top of that. That was really well said.
Okay. There you go. And if y'all didn't see it, I did change the title to "And News of the Week." So I did change it. I did change the title. Let everybody know. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh. Because, Anna, we did talk about news. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. High to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally.
I'm so terribly sorry, y'all. I am so off today. And Foxy is over here preaching a great sermon. But she won't do it on air. But let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to Tracy Media page, patreon.com, Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's website, OurUnitedCore.com. Communities build movements. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. I just knew I was going to have a bad show. Well, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. The damn primary for this election is June 24th, and they do ranked choice voting, so it will be interesting.
On that note, real quick, this is what I would love. This isn't about the New York thing. This is about the Democratic Party, which is garbage. And they're basically, I look at MAGA like a flood, right? It's a rising tide of just refuse and sewage water. Well, what do you do to try to hold back rising water? You build sandbags, right? You build a little wall, right? Just to hold it back while you do better work behind that. So the Democrats is like a bunch of sandbags to me. They're worthless to do any real work, but they can at least serve as a barrier. So in the midterms, vote blue no matter who. Just it's all about laying sandbags. I really don't care what the quality of the Democrat is. I just anything to reduce the numbers of Republicans. That's all I'm asking for. I don't expect them to do no real work. I just don't, because we've watched them. They can't fight. They won't fight. They're just pathetic. But they can at least be flotsam. They can get in the way of things. But on the presidential level, presidential elections, 4 years from now? They need to be tactical here. They need to go ahead, even if it's not who you ultimately want to run for president. Let's say they want to run Gavin Newsom. Okay. Let's say that's their main guy that they're looking for. Then don't use him right now, but go get your number 3, number 4, and number 5 pick and have them start running for president now. Right now. And that way they can start the discussion on universal health care. They can start the discussion on what does our military and our international relationships look like under a Democratic president. They can start the discussion on what's a responsible revision to the tax code. They can talk all that stuff that may not ultimately make it to the end of the line. But they can start it now, which will draw a much clearer contrast to Trump and his flunkies than what they're doing right now, which is just being quiet and saying, hey, if they're digging a hole, let them dig a hole. No, they're digging a hole. You need to start providing them shovels. That's what you need to do. You need to show up and hand them some shovels. And if need be, get down in there and help them dig the hole even deeper, because that's what they do to you. I think that would be something that I would prefer to see, because the third party ain't ready yet, and I don't know if they're gonna be ready in time.
What do you think of what Bernie is doing?
I have to be fair. I intentionally do not pay Bernie Sanders any attention whatsoever.
No,
I just don't, because he's as old as Joe Biden. So
true.
It to me, it's a recycling of the same issue that we're trying to get away from. Bernie Sanders has caused a whole new energy of leadership and talent to enter into the game. So raise them up, right? Raise up Jasmine and AOC and who's that one white guy who's really good out there. But there's another guy out there in Congress. I can never remember his name. But
the young man from
Rankin?
No. Rankin's old guard too. I like Rankin, but he's still old guard. But I can't remember his name, but he's relatively popular. You see him a lot. He was on the Jan 6 committee, I think. But those kinds of things. Bernie Sanders, to me, should not be the head of anything as far as like who's going to be our next president. But he should be the head of his movement, because his movement needs him. But I need to use that movement to bring up that new talent. So long as the focus is a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Like, I really wish that he would choose one to prop them up as his successor, if you will. What I do really appreciate, and I see him doing, is he is going into deep red states, deep red counties, and he is talking to the people. Because this was something I wanted to bring up, but suddenly it was, we're going to the next hour. All of the town halls that are happening across the country, Republicans are angry. rightfully so. It's finally they woke up with a bunch of wait. We didn't vote for this. We didn't send Elon Musk. We didn't think he was going to go into the treasury. Let's say, there is so much going on, especially like the Idaho meeting where 3 men, no badges, no identification. They dragged a woman out, and I can't wait to follow where this goes because they were a private what's it called?
Private security type thing.
Security. Thank you. They were not police. They were not with the sheriff.
But they don't have to be. Welcome to this era.
Exactly.
Right? Project
Exactly.
2025 and the things that are around it.
Nobody stood. Well, okay, there was one guy who did try to stand up, and he was immediately taken outside as well.
Right.
But just like you say in Congress, that should have been the moment for the next person to stand up. We need to realize this is our moment to stand up. And, this is me talking to all my white cousins out there because, no, we don't want the Black people out. We want them safe. It is our time. It is the time to go and show your disapproval, your dismay, whatever it is. There are protests going on nearly every week. There are boycotts, blackouts. There is some kind of civil disobedience happening regularly. And if you can get in touch with an organization like Indivisible or Move On, there's plenty of others, but those are what's coming off at the top of my head. You can get put into you can join this movement. And I like what I am seeing starting. I wish it was more. And I wish the media would cover it, because that's another thing, like these protests, they are happening. But do we see it?
They're going to toe the line.
Yeah.
They were the first to give in.
But you go into YouTube and you look up Protest 2025 USA, you will be inundated with videos.
Yeah.
Because they are happening.
Everything's being recorded. And the thing is, and this is why a lot of white liberals are trying so hard or crying or making the plea so much for us to get involved, is because, see, like with this lady, they drug her out. They did not drag this lady out. Okay. They forced her to get up. And then after that, they led her out by the arm. I watched it. Yeah. It was far from aggressive. Okay. And then she got outside and she was able to go and get a sign and get some media attention. But had that been a Latino or a Black person, they would have been wrestled out, handcuffed.
Yep.
And there would have been a different video, right?
Yep.
So I'm not saying they would have been assaulted, but they would have been treated much more aggressively and they would have been arrested on the spot. So that's why a lot of the white liberals want more of us to be involved, because you get a much more strident view when you show that. But what's happening now is all these white people protesting is not getting the same kind of attention. Like it'll get a cover, like they'll talk about it, but there's nothing. If as they say, if it bleeds, it leads. Well, nobody's bleeding.
Right.
So, but no, I'm like, hey,
their ratings.
Right. So I'm like, let these other people do their thing. Let these other people do their thing. Because like now there's a rumor that Trump and his lackeys want to let Derek Chauvin out.
Yes.
So
they can't though. I mean, look at what he is charged federally with, and then what was a state charge. They can't go for the state charge.
They can't beat the state stuff, but they can beat the federal stuff, which would be enough to give the energy that they want, which is about, hey, it's okay to abuse Black people and they have no rights. That's what it's about. It's not about Chauvin. It's about what it says to the rest of us, right? Because remember, one of the things that Trump's people said coming into this election was they wanted to get rid of all the quote unquote foreigners, and the black people are okay to stay so long as we know our place.
Yep.
Okay. So they're wanting us to accept second class citizenship again. So then, yeah, you can be here, but we need you in service and entertainment roles. We do not need you in any thinking roles, right? This is the reorganization of America to emulate what they think the 1950s and 40s were, because to them, that's when America went wrong. All right. So you have to understand all that's going into it to realize all the different plays that are being made. But we got a lot of people who are intentionally not paying attention. And I do understand the emotional exhaustion. I do. But the thing is, whether you're tired or not, the impact is coming. So are you going to wait until it gets worse to try to figure out what to do next? Or are you going to try to figure out what to do next as the temperature's rising? I think it's better to, the best time to prepare is yesterday.
Yes.
Second best time to prepare is now.
Yeah. We've been downsizing a lot and just looking around, seeing that we have a lot of things that we don't need. And slowly we have been either, purging away stuff that we won't need. So, because come the day that they remove Medicaid, I think we would be going to Canada and finding, yeah. I mean, that might not happen for another year or so, but believe me, we're preparing. We're getting our papers in order.
Mm-hmm. And like
people, you're preparing now instead of waiting till next year.
I'm not going to wait until it happens and then panic. I'm trying to go in with my eyes open.
And that's an excellent point. What I would like more people to see is it's already happened.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like we wait for the tidal wave to hit to acknowledge destruction. Yeah. When the tidal wave has already formed the moment you see that water suck away from the beach. The tidal wave is already started, right? Mm-hmm. We're looking at the water receding from the beach, but we're waiting for the wave to make its visual be there. No, it's already coming. It will get worse. It's not it might get worse. It will get worse. All right. The cost of living is about to explode. I have personal friends and family who have lost their jobs since the time of this knucklehead getting back in office.
I'm so sorry.
So this is what it is. So at any given time, the rest of us who have jobs could very well not. And then the job market is such that you can't just go get a job. It doesn't matter how many job openings are out there. You can't get to them, because the other part of this game is when they tell you about it being a merit economy, which is a lie. A merit economy means that we're going to move away from qualifications and we're moving towards your personal networks. That's what merit means. Does not mean your skill set. See, where we're at right now is about your skill set. No. Merit is, do you deserve to be looked at for this job? And that qualification is based on, do I like you? Do I know you? And do I want you?
Network.
So there's a lot of people who are well skilled who will not get jobs. And then think about this housing market. What are the biggest issues with housing? Nobody can afford a house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you crash the economy, guess what comes down? Cost of housing. So the things,
so all the people who are coming in on a gold card can easily snap those up, because if they can afford a $5 million charge,
they'll just be able to buy property.
Yeah.
See, it's so many layers and nuances to all of this. But the biggest concern for me is that people are still checked out. And I get it, and I detest it at the exact same time. You do not have the luxury of being checked out.
Not now.
Yeah, it will get worse. I think there's already been like 200,000 people who have lost their jobs working in some part of the federal government. It is, you wasn't on the show earlier, and I promise if I'm saying this wrong, I guarantee you I would not talk politics until next Sunday because I'm sucking today. But it just come to my attention that now Trump, well, Elon Musk, let's just call it the way it is.
President Musk and Vice President Trump.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is now thinking of trying to get some of these people back because the jobs are not getting as done as efficiently as it was. And Foxy was the one that brought it to my attention. And I was explaining to her, we're thinking, they're thinking, not we. They're thinking old-fashioned mentality when Trump said, we're gonna run this country like a business. And the old-fashioned mentality was, I want to keep the wages down and the productivity up. So how do you do that? I'm going to get rid of as many people as I can, and just slide the responsibilities over to the people who are still here.
It's worse than that, bro. Like that would be if they were forward thinking and being rational. They're not. These are very wealthy people. We have more billionaires in office than any time in recent history. So these are not people who ever worked a job, ever. Okay. They may have started a business and it blew up or whatever, but they themselves have never been close to the working person. So their concept of efficiency is reduce the top line number. Right? If we can reduce what we spend in payroll, then we've done something great because that's their mindset. So they go in and they fire all the people in the FAA because they just think, what do we need all these people looking at a computer screen for? We got computers that can do that. Okay. You need the people because they can interpret what the computer's showing.
And
right?
I've got this business over here that flies planes,
Well, it doesn't hurt that Elon is heavily invested in these industries. But
Starlink, yeah.
So you get rid of the people and then you're like, oh, wait, we need some of them back. So now you got to try to go back and get them back. But these people don't learn. They don't learn. They just kind of outrun their mistakes. So they did that with the FAA. Then they go into USAID and they do the exact same thing. We're just going to fire everybody. Okay,
The
well,
nuclear.
now you don't have cover for your CIA operatives who are working through at USAID to work in these different countries. And you're also forgetting the fact that bribery comes in many different ways. And one of the ways it works is you feed people. And if you feed people, they're more likely to talk to you, right? This is a way to help your country without having to send weapons and all this other stuff. So they're cutting off their nose to spite their face. Then you turn around and you did it with the World Health Organization and the CDC. You cut all these people out. The very people who study and are deployed to deal with avian flu, regular flu, Ebola. You fired all of them. And then you're, wait. You mean I wasn't supposed to fire Bill? Okay. Go get Bill back. Bill ain't answering his phone. Right? So they're doing this all over. It's a calamity of dumbassery. It is
the second half. So they won't literally get rid of any part of the government that actually help people. And I'm going to say this real quick because I don't even care no more. Like I said, I'm sucking today. I'm going to throw on my conspiracy hat because I've said this before. It really just feels like they're trying to weaken this government as much as they possibly can.
They are.
And
they want to refashion it.
I don't want anybody to, I want everybody to understand me when I say this. And it's not a takeover for the Republicans. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at this point, they're weakening this country enough for another country.
I don't think that's what it is.
I
know people think it's so he can give it to Russia. That's not what it is.
No, I ain't about no. I don't know what it. I don't know. I said a country. I don't know what the country is. I just feel like they're just weakening it to the point of exhaustion. Like they're taking away everything possible from medicine to from healthcare to the economy to pissing off every country they could think of, and countries we didn't think of. Mexico, I got you. Canada,
So,
we thought about Canada and how many presidents?
so here's
All
the
of a
thing.
sudden,
You have to
Canada.
look. You have to look at Trump, his mentality, and who he looks up to. And so he is functioning on a wavelength that says, hey, let's just chop up the globe. It's very similar to what the colonies did. I mean, the colonizers did back in the day, right? Hey, Spain, you can have this over here. Portugal, you can have this over here. England, you can have this over here. And we won't fight each other. We're just going to cut the map up in different ways. You know, you're into oil. Okay, cool. So you can have these pieces of the planet. You're into technology like EVs and aerospace. All right, we're going to cut it up over this way. Right. That's the mentality. So what Trump wants to do, from all signs, from what I'm seeing, he wants to replicate what is happening in parts of Europe and what has happened gosh, it just went out of my head. But Russia, right? He's saying, hey, we want all of the North American continent, right? So we want Central America through Canada. And then we want Greenland because it's sitting next to us. So we want to have this as our little playground. And South America, y'all figure it out, right? We didn't already robbed y'all blind. We're not too much worried about y'all. So they'll I don't know how they're going to sort that one out. Europe, they're going to let Europe die. They're going to let it just wither and die because they're outmoded. Okay. And then you got Saudi Arabia, you can have the Middle East. Okay. And then we're all going to chop up Africa. And then China, you mind your business over there. And Russia, you get all your old pieces together. And that's how they want to do this thing. Right? If you remember that video you shared with us a while back, Marlon, with the keys of power. And one of the versions in all of those scenarios was this. Right? This is literally what he's doing. And if you can weaken the population, if you can get the population away from education, you can get rid of their social safety nets. You can demoralize them so they don't think there's any chance of fighting back. And then you can put in a domestic police force that is only beholden to the ruling authority. Then you can get richer and gain more power until such time as a revolution. Interesting, Tracy.
Wow.
And I would like to hear this billion bad things about Kamala.
Nope. Let's take the win. Nope. Nope. I'm concentrating on the last part, buddy. Nope.
How is that a win? It's
the last part. They wouldn't have did this. That's a win. Taking that as a win. And they just lied about what they are cutting, like claiming Biden was sending $100 million of condoms to Hamas.
Yeah. That was yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. Or a Biden administrator was funding experiments to make mice. Stop.
But here's what's funny. Now that stuff is hilarious enough on his face.
It's not hilarious. This it's
true.
It's so stupid that it's hilarious.
I know it's true.
Because the mice is not about transgender, it's about transgenetics or something like that.
Yeah.
Two different things. Different things. But
very
because
different.
it has trans in there, we're making male mice into women mice. We give them mice boobs, I guess. I don't know. But what I would love for more people to do is study your U.S. history and be familiar with what you're dealing with. If you recall, Kennedy Jr., whatever, the third, whatever, the nut in the Health and Human Services.
Bobby,
he had mentioned in his congressional hearing
Yeah.
about a eugenics play, right? When he was talking about black people and we don't need
Gee, here we
medication and
are.
vaccinations, that's genetic. That's eugenics. That's
Eugenics.
Okay.
Yep.
That's forced sterilization. That's experimentation. America has a history of this.
Mm-hmm.
And that history dates back to the same era in time that they're trying to take us back to. And if you don't know and you really want to learn more about it, just look up the history of Puerto Rico. If you look up the history of Puerto Rico, it will naturally walk you into the era of time. And it was happening here too, but because they were doing it to our women. But Puerto Rico, you have a much better documentary series and stuff out there where they were forcibly sterilizing women. Up to 60 to 70% of the Puerto Rican women were forcibly sterilized at the hand of the United States government. All right. So if you don't know your history, you're doomed to walk headlong right back into it.
Yeah.
We are in some really, really tough times. So if they think that population is out of control and they need to increase white birth rates and they want to decrease non-white birth rates, what makes you think they won't go back to this?
They've already did it. I get it, Theus. I'm not jumping on you on anything you just said. That is history. But we don't have to go that far back.
It's also current.
2016, 2017. They was doing to the Mexican women. The same sterilization, the exact same thing that Theus just said. People who was coming across the border, they were sterilizing the women then. And if it wasn't sterilizing the women, we're still missing a lot of Mexican kids. Cause
they just lost them.
Yeah, they just lost them.
Or forced them into adoption because I get so frustrated
I was just saying though, I don't want to, if it gets mixed up, when we say learn your history, the first thing that pops in your head is, oh man, I don't feel like going to 2050, 2050. Bruh, you ain't got to go that far back.
Well, the reason why I picked the time that I said is because of the clarity of the documentation, right? Because if I can get, as one of my heroes, Kwame Ture, said, the responsibility of the conscious is not to teach people to become conscious. The responsibility of the conscious is to make the unconscious aware of their unconsciousness. So my job is not to change your mind. My job is to show you that your mind may need a little bit more information. So why don't you start your journey? And wherever you end up on your journey, that's none of my concern. I'm here to help you get started on your journey, right? And if I can get you to start looking up Puerto Rico, you're going to start looking up what happened to Black women. And if I can get you to start looking up that right there, YouTube will walk you down the line. You will start to learn about what happened to the women who were being brought up, who were coming across the border under the Trump administration, and how they were being sterilized, and how their children were being taken from them, and how their children were being adopted by white families. The most white passing Latino babies were being adopted by well-off, wealthy white families because they couldn't get the what you call it, the birth assistance or what have you. So they were able to shortcut the adoption system, get them to this little white Latino baby, raise them as a white child, right? And if you go into that, you will hopefully take you into what happened to the indigenous American community, where they did the exact same thing to their children, right? So you just got to go on your journey of discovery. All I need you to do is crack the seal. You'll do the rest on your own, right? But it's just that a lot of people don't recognize how much is going on because they feel overwhelmed when they haven't even started yet. So let's give people something small. And if you give them something small, they will take the journey. Right. But if I sit here like I just did and give you a 20-minute dissertation on all the different ills of America, you think you got all the information now.
It's so much.
All right, everybody, let's move on. Get on out of here. Well, not get on out of here, but let's move on. I'm gonna skip Am I the A-hole? I'll
We
play
ruined Marlon's show.
week.
I'm sorry.
No, I had a ball. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. It was a good segment. Mafia video of the week. Getting to a point now in this show where I just feel like I'm just going to call out things and just play the video and keep my mouth shut. I really am. I'm just thinking, I'm not. My mind ain't working right today. And I don't even know why. I just feel like I'm just going to wait for a pause from two of the greatest minds I ever known, from Anna and Thea's. And I'm just going to go, okay, Mafia video of the week. Okay, positive story of the week.
I hope you don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Because
like that.
there are plenty of times that you drop
No,
little diamonds.
It's just today. It's just like, I'm off. But anyway, so last week I was playing Tracy's videos of different preachers and the way they preach and everything else. And it was funny, he ha ha. However, I had to play this one because this is the type of preacher I cannot stand at all. And I've come across a lot of different styles and everything else. I just can't stand this one. The Dictionary Preacher.
Begin to look up the word blasphemy in the Webster's. What I saw was a couple of different meanings. And in the Greek, it means blasphemous, and in Latin, it means blasphemy, mama. And it is the act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things or profane talk. But in the ghetto, it means lie. And if you think about love, we have a blasphemous love. Well, love, which means agape. Amen. And in the Urban Dictionary online means the love between one another that isn't supposed to be there. I gotta start studying.
The part that annoys me about it is that I've read enough books and I know enough vocabulary that I was sitting in the audience like, that's not what that means.
I was like, a cop. Wait, this. No.
Yeah. It's like, either you don't know what you're talking about, or you know the people you talking to don't know what you're talking about, or both.
I cut you off as soon as you say it, and not in the Webster dictionary. It says, "I'm with you on that. Whatever, do you, boo?" But in the Greek Latin, why?
Because that's
why
what
we need to know what the Greek word of this is. What is your point?
Because that's who wrote your Bible.
Because that is
the
basis of the language that he's trying to give you.
Then start there.
Yeah, but you don't speak that.
Right? You have to work your way back.
Yeah, I gotta weave it. Like our president says, you gotta do the weave.
NFL game starting about 20 minutes. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and get to the damn point.
Well, like he was talking about
I'm sitting here, I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, Theas and Ed. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know the part that I'm gonna walk out on. And the Urban Dictionary, fucker, I'm out of here. No, hell no. No.
Wow.
Urban Dictionary online. No. You're working about an hour. Hell no. I'm out.
What got me was when old boy said agape, meaning the space between the love between two people. I'm like, that's not agape. What you just did was a gap. That's what you just did. No, sir. But he is. I assume he knows he's talking to some illiterate people. So he's just gonna play on the word, and it was.
Parker says the mathematic preacher is still the funniest one to me. Bro, when he connected math to who was it? Deion Sanders.
Oh yeah.
Bro, okay.
Yeah, but I've been to every last one of
it's a way to fill time. Parker, I don't.
That's their message. They ain't even filling time. That's their message.
IDA. Panthers play at 2.
Marlon.
We at 1:45. As soon as you come out with the Urban Dictionary online, nope. And I gotta stop by the store too. Nope. I'm out.
Jesus is more important than a football game.
Jesus is. This preacher ain't.
But he's
nope.
He's the representative.
No, well, no.
He's here to teach you about the law.
And study, go to Bible study and learn, because church, not many were called to be
Reminds me of you again. The island.
See, you so worried about the men around the pigskin, but here I'm here to teach you. I'm here to talk to you about the foreskin. You see, you gotta cut off the foreskin before we waste time talking about the pigskin.
Parker, this is the funny part about what you just said. Turn to your neighbor and ask, what is the Greek definition of it? This is the funny thing about it. That actually is a preacher. I'm gonna put it on next week. The turn to your neighbor preacher. Turn to your back. Turn to the people behind you and high five them 4 times. That is, I know you meant agape, but yeah, that is a preacher. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Oh, neighbor.
What? OMG, my dad did this all the time. Drove me crazy. Woo.
Did we have one with the Was that one of the ones? I think that was one of the hooping.
It wasn't on that list. So I think they switched that with the asthmatic preacher.
Yeah, the asthmatic. Okay.
But it is totally different. It is the and the
yes, it's so nice.
Adam, you.
I don't want to know.
You don't. Real or nah? We haven't had this in a long time. I know. Wife blamed me for the affair partner's divorce.
I, 32, have been married to my soon-to-be ex, 30, Madison, for 4 years. We are currently in counseling, but it is not going to work. About a year ago, I found out she was having an affair by coming home to their clothes in our living room and sounds coming from our bedroom. Aww. I lost it. I was getting my cricket bat out of the front closet when I stopped to think about consequences. I didn't want to go to jail. Instead, I took all of their clothes and I left quietly. I went to a friend's house, but not before throwing all the clothes in a McDonald's garbage can. I turned off my phone and got shit-faced with my buddy. His wife hosed us off in the morning. It's the Midwest welcome. After I turned my phone back on, I had dozens of calls and texts from Madison. First scared because she got my updated flight information, then upset that I hadn't called her to let her know I was going to be coming home early. Really? Then freaked out that the house had been broken into. Then crazy because she figured out it was me. They just get more deranged. The guy she was with is 5 inches shorter than me. Okay. The guy she's with is 5 inches shorter than me and about 60 pounds lighter. So if he had taken my clothes, it would be obvious. He ended up calling his wife to go get his spare keys from his house. Unfortunately for him, his wife smelled a rat and followed his friend back to my house, where she saw him leaving in oversized clothes. Long story short, she took pictures and she had evidence of his infidelity, which caused their prenup to be canceled, which cost him a lot of money. It's all one big giant shit show. It took a couple of months, but my wife convinced me to try and forgive her. We started going to counseling and we were working our way through it until recently. In a counseling session, she said that I was wrong to steal his wallet, phone, and car keys. She said that his divorce is costing him a lot of money and that I should have dealt with it in a more mature manner and that it was my fault. Did you say this she said it in a counseling session. She said this shit in front of a counselor. Oh my God. I have never admitted to taking his stuff. To begin with, I was afraid he might call the cops. Then I didn't want to give her ammunition in case she wanted a divorce. Now I just don't care. I told her that her cheating was the reason her boyfriend is getting divorced, and I hope his ex takes everything. I'm still not living at home. I have my own apartment and I'm filing for divorce. Now that I know how she feels, it is kind of a slap in the face that she is blaming me for his divorce.
Kind of a slap in the face, sir.
Huh.
You a special kind of something.
This is why I put it on the real or not. Because there was only one question that popped in my head. During the marriage counselor, you said that he losing a lot of money and it's real bad and it's terrible and the wife is taking him to the cleaners and blah, blah, blah. You said all of this stuff. And I know everybody is concentrating on the fact that she's still blaming you. She's
still with him.
The counselor. My thought is this: how the fuck you know what's going on in his life?
That's her boyfriend, Marlon.
That's her boyfriend.
You still talking to him? You still talking to old boy? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Part of the friend group.
My foot about to be a part of the friend group too.
I think this is real.
Yeah, sounds real to me.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
It just seems like it seems like when people push so much dramatic stuff into a story all at the same time, it just comes off so fake to me. Like, okay, I caught them because I heard the noises. And
That's usually how you catch them.
man, I don't know. But okay.
You catch them when they're slipping. Kind of like when you were a kid. How'd your mama catch you with that dirty video? Because your dumb ass didn't take it out the VCR.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't. Me? I never got caught. But I know a lot of people.
That's why I said I don't know anything about that because I never got caught.
But yeah, that's when you catch people. You catch people when they're slipping. They get away with it many times before you catch them. That's why I don't do forgiveness. I've only done forgiveness one time, and I regret it all the time. But yeah, I don't do forgiveness.
I never quite figured out what me finding one, a dirty magazine, and then two, a dirty movie. They were both my biological fathers. Don't know what I was supposed to do with that.
I don't understand.
I don't even, and I don't even understand what Parker is saying.
Oh, he was talking about the lady getting her comeuppance.
That's a fuck around, find out moment.
Found out. Oh God, I'm sorry, Parker. That's the first time I've seen it lowercase, so that's why I was like, it threw me off. So I'm still here like a dumbass going, Fafo?
I hear people even just going Fafo. They had their Fafo moment. I'm like, okay.
Lazy. The people done got like they don't even say LOL no more. They go lol. Oh, it just moves on.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I largely have given up on humanity. I still try because there's that hard-headed, stubborn part of me, but stupid people reproduce a lot more than rational ones, and it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah, there is no. Well, say making another human being is one of the easiest,
especially for the guy. I just got to lie to enough women, and I can have all kinds of kids.
Foxy's videos of the week. If it feel like I'm rushing, it's because I'm trying to actually get Foxy to stay up long enough to actually listen to her segment. Because for the last couple of weeks, she has literally been the one that's picking the videos, not me. So I want
Put
her
it on
to.
earlier.
Yeah, he could move her up.
Yeah. Doesn't.
Never mind.
Bunch of suck ups make me sick sometimes.
I don't think that was sucking up, but okay.
Just-
Nice people.
Move it up to the first.
I mean, you expressed a concern, and we thought we were giving positive feedback.
You did. You did. Anyway, I'm going to clarify this. I don't like this trend. I never liked this trend from the very beginning. It's a new TikTok trend or wherever they get it from. You listen, but you don't judge.
Wait. I know what you mean. This is an old video. They put that in there. So,
Oh, whatever. You listen, but you don't judge.
And if you tell me and your mom, we're not going to be mad.
I said the Lord's name in vain at school.
I said I wasn't going to get angry, and I'm not angry.
Okay, good. I went to the petting zoo and I let the goat lick my penis.
What? No, that
No, honey. You promised you wouldn't get mad, okay? They're being honest.
Okay, hopefully that's it.
I had a beer with the old biker man at the end of the street. And he let me touch his old lady's titty.
Oh, breast.
I go to the mall and hide in the stairwell and take photos of women's skirts. I have a whole book of cooter shots under my bed. One time I put a firefly in my butthole.
Why?
To make my farts glow. I shaved the dog and glued the hair to my nutsack so I looked like a grown man.
I touched myself to Drew Carey on The Price is Right.
God. Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
That is a truly degenerate family.
well, at least they are consistent. Like they all have something.
Oh, the dad didn't even get to showing Darren his skeletons because he probably got a doozy.
Oh goodness, it's so funny.
Oh no.
The kids are really disturbing though, for real.
I'm withholding my comment.
I thought that was from a movie.
Family. Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah. Because that dude look the dad looked familiar.
Someone wrote that bullshit?
Yes. Well, hey, there's families out there. That's just saying.
Yeah, that's
You want to know how far
bad enough.
You want to see how far we have come in society, Anna? It came across my feed. I don't even know why. Look at the old National Lampoon's Vacation. And just go, why did I think this was funny? This is very disturbing.
The movie is called The Campaign.
No, I never heard of that one.
But what that came from?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never heard of that before.
That was just weird. I'm sorry.
Next video, Earth is Ghetto.
It's ghetto, I wanna leave. Can you beam me up? I'm out on the street by the corner store, you know, the one on 15th. Got a bright shirt on, so I'm easy to see. I've been down here stranded indefinitely. I can't reach my planet, but I need to leave. You should see these people, it's hard to believe how they treat each other. It's hard to conceive. Oh, Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave. Oh, Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave. I wanna leave.
I remember the first time I heard this was on Clickbaity.
That's that. Yep. That was wonderful.
Well, let's get the newer version of it.
Remix.
Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave. Can you beam me up? I'm out on the streets by the corner store, you know, the one on 15. Got a bright shirt on, so I'm easy to see. I've been down here stranded indefinitely. I can't reach my planet, but I need to leave. You should see these people, it's hard to believe how they treat each other. It's hard to conceive. Oh, Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave. Oh, Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave. I wanna leave. I wanna leave. I wanna leave. I wanna leave.
You know, it'd be dope. Take Jill Scott and Anthony Hamilton, put them together to record a real version of this song.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Oh, I thought that was from Talladega Nights. Never mind. I didn't think it was.
I figured
Talladega
it
Nights.
makes me think of Talladega too, but it's probably similar writers or producers. Or
Yeah, there was a point where it was like it was three of them that always did a movie. Don't ask me what their name is right now, because
Will Ferrell and the other guy.
Yeah.
They
And
did Big Brother.
Will Ferrell, that other guy, and then this guy that was that in the clip we just saw. It was three of them. But I knew it wasn't Talladega Nights. We did not need to know everything. Oh, you're behind again. He is such the researcher. We thought Parker was the researcher. He is beyond it.
Just be curious, man.
Anyway, final video of the night. And I know this is going to open up another political thing. It's funny, but it's true.
A politician dies and ends up at the pearly gates. St. Peter looks at him and finds his name in his book. So you're a politician? Well, yes. Is there a problem? Oh, no, there is no problem. But we have a policy for people in your profession. You have to spend a day each in heaven and hell, and then you will be free to choose where you want to spend the rest of eternity. Why can't I choose now? Why do I have to spend a day in hell? Well, that is the policy. First, the politician spends a day in heaven. He sees angels singing and people playing harps. He finds heaven very boring for him. Next, he spends a day in hell. Upon arriving there, he expects to see barren wastelands with rivers of lava and people being boiled alive, but instead sees lush greenery and a large 5-star hotel in front of him. At the hotel entrance, he sees Satan wearing a tuxedo and sipping on a martini. This isn't what I expected hell to be. Oh, hell has been completely misrepresented. We have a luxury 5-star hotel with 7-course meals prepared by the best chefs. And we have all the sporting facilities you could imagine with a very large pool. All this is for free. So the politician spends the entire day playing golf and eating his meals by the poolside. At the end of the day, he sleeps in the most luxurious bed he could imagine in a very large suite. The next morning, when he wakes up, he is back at the pearly gates where St. Peter is waiting for him. So, what will it be? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I prefer hell. So the politician is transported back to hell, where he sees a barren wasteland illuminated only by the glow of rivers of lava, and hears the screams of people being tortured. The air is full of the stench of sulfur. Once again he sees Satan in his tux. What happened to the hotel, the golf course, the pool, and all the greenery I saw yesterday? Well, yesterday we were campaigning. Today you voted.
I would agree with that,
Huh.
except because I know like this is a direct parallel to MAGA, right? But no, the same promises were made before and after the campaign. He's like literally fulfilling his campaign promise. He's the first time you had a president who campaigned on something and then came in and did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Like he broke the rules. He told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But you know what? You can't expect the truth from a liar, right? And that's one of those things. Like, you knew you were going to hell, the land of lies. And then you were foolish enough to believe the lies that were being presented to you as truth. That's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to admit, heaven got a really bad press corps. You know, like if we're going to put them in terms of like Republicans and Democrats, the Democrat, and this is not a direct parallel, but I'm just saying, just for this analogy, the Democrats is like the messaging team, the PR team for heaven, and the Republicans are the PR team for hell. Because the Democrats suck at messaging. Like, you think about it, what does heaven describe to you? At least this is how I heard it when I was coming up. A land of milk and honey. I don't like milk. I don't like honey. The streets are paved with gold. Why am I impressed by wealth and riches? You have a mansion. Okay, what I need with a mansion if I ain't got nobody to work in the mansion? And I'm pretty sure heaven ain't supposed to be giving me servants. So I don't understand why I want a mansion. And then we're going to sit around and sing all day. I don't like singing. You know? So it's like...
There's a show I used to watch, and I really enjoyed it, really did. So I don't want to hear no crap from nobody. Lucifer.
I didn't watch that.
Really loved. I loved that show.
I watched The Good Place. That was good. That was fun.
If you ever want
So what was Lucifer about?
Lucifer was about Lucifer, the devil, moving to LA.
Right.
He quit. He quit being the guard of hell, and he moved to LA. He's done. And if you look at this, if you remember how they describe hell and, you know, the fire pits and everything and everybody in agony, and the show never showed that. Their premise was basically you was put in a room, and the room would represent that individual's life that they had to live through for eternity. That was their hell. As the show goes on and as time goes on, they changed it without actually saying it, but they changed it as if I'm putting you in this room to live your life the way that the reason that we put you in hell to begin with, until you make better decisions. And once you make better decisions, it will get easier for you. That changed to, yeah, it gets wild. That changed to, you gonna put you in this room where you can live your life until you make better decisions. And not to make your life easier, but you can actually work yourself back to heaven. Well, not back to heaven, but to heaven, because you made better decisions. And I'm thinking, I'm going to use this show as entertainment because none of this crap was ever told to me when I was young. Zero of this. When you was in hell, you're in hell. You're not leaving. It's a done deal.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny about hell? What we have been taught about hell, and I can almost universally, what we have been taught about hell actually comes out of Dante's Inferno. Ain't even in the Bible.
Really?
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. I thought Dante's Inferno was after the hell.
Dante's Inferno was a work of fiction.
Huh.
Yeah, but I thought that was written after the Bible.
No, it was. It was.
Oh, the concept
yeah.
of hell is from Dante's Inferno. Yeah,
Culture
okay.
has morphed to where Dante's Inferno is the imagined representation of hell that we all hold in our head, right? The pitchforks, the demons, and all those things.
It's not in the Bible.
Not in the way that we imagine it. But hey, you know, all that's kind of irrelevant to me because I don't believe the way everybody else believes. So, but yeah.
Well, just in case anybody don't want to watch the show, the final clip was Lucifer going back to hell and staying in hell because his job was to be the psychiatrist of hell and bring people to the office to teach them what they're doing wrong so that they can make their way to heaven.
So there's a redemption arc even with the people in hell. Okay.
Yes.
Which, now that you describe that, because I never watched that show, but that makes me, because the one show I did watch more recently is called The Good Place with Tony Danson or whatever his name. I think it's his name. The guy from Cheers.
I heard of that. Yeah.
And really fun show. So much fun. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I did. But it sounds like they basically rebooted what you were kind of describing, Marlon. But it's much more, I guess, lighthearted. Like, I watch it on Netflix if it's still on Netflix, that way you can see it.
But, Good Place?
Yeah, it's called The Good Place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
It's hilarious. I'm just saying.
I don't know what it is about me lately. I have like 2 shows now that I was like, back in the day, I can't wait to binge watch it. Like, man, hurry up and bring these out. I can't wait to binge. I haven't got anywhere close to the streaming any of it. It's like, I'll get to it. It'll be. I don't know what it is like.
I don't usually watch anything that I haven't seen before because I don't like wasting my time on something I might not enjoy. But I watched The Good Place because my wife.
Wait. How are you going to know if you're going to enjoy it until you watch it?
I don't know, but I do know what I did enjoy.
Now, I will tell you this, and it did do better slightly. It's The Hunting Party. I'm gonna tell you now.
Never heard of it.
It's a new show, and the only reason I'm watching, honestly, is because one of my favorite actresses that was from The Manifest is on it, so I like her. So I started watching.
Never heard that either.
You never heard of Manifest?
And I won't even start to watch a show on these streaming platforms if it doesn't have at least 2 seasons. Because I can't stand, like I was watching Treadstone. I remember I told you should check out Treadstone.
Manifest is really good.
One season.
Manifest is really good. You will hate the ending if you watch it. I'm gonna tell you that now. I hated the ending. It was terrible. Like,
I ain't gonna watch it. Thank you. You appreciate it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I will rather you not watch it then. Because that ending was terrible. It's like you didn't answer shit. You answered no question. You went through a roller coaster of bullshit to get to a bigger pile of bullshit. I don't even know how to say the rest of it. It was just like, it was really bad, and I was invested in this, and it's like it's the kind of show that it was the kind of ending where I went reclaiming my time. This doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever.
So
This
basically, they ran out of funding and the show got canceled.
Nah, I think they ran its course. Yeah, that's what I said when the show was happening. There are certain shows where as the episodes go on, it paints itself into a corner. Like you can't help but in a certain type of way because you depicted this show that these characters a certain way. You can't help but end it this way. That doesn't help the fact that you ended a sucky ass damn way. I'm not letting you off because it sucked Ross. But you painted yourself in there. But anyway, I watched a show a long time ago called The Pretenders.
Heard of that.
And I watched all the episodes.
Good man.
And I got burned out because I am the person who can't do the whole it's a project such and such, such and such. Well, have you heard of project such and such, such and such? Well, make sure they don't know about project such and such. I'm like, no. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this where there's levels to bad guys. No. Who the fuck is the big bad? Let's work at that. Because I'm sick and tired of here's the big bad. You killed the big bad. He really wasn't a big bad because he was working for another big bad. Bruh, no. It's like you cheating. No, it's not happening. I say that because of what I was saying about Hunter's party. They was close to doing that. But they redeemed themselves the last episode. So I'm like, okay, y'all was real close to that. Who talking to who? Well, they're not the person in charge anyway. Okay, so who's the person in charge? The big boss is the person in charge. Okay, let's go after the big boss. Well, he's really not the real person in charge. I'll give you an example. Blacklist. Blacklisted was exactly like that by the end.
My wife watched it. I never watched it.
Blacklist by that time was like that. It's a bad guy. It was a bad guy. It was a bad guy that was all read by a committee. Where did the committee just come from? Who's in charge of the committee? We don't know. I'm going to take a drive. I'm sick of this. I can't do this no more.
Speaking of things can't do anymore, how about Anna Kasparian? Who's playing? Well,
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
she's just so far out there. It's just.
Oh, I'm taking your word for it. I stopped listening.
Well, I don't watch TYT at all, but she popped up because I thought it was going to be Ted Danson. Thank you. She popped up because I thought it was going to be that other guy you guys recommend.
John Idaho.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be him, and then I hit play, and then it was her talking, and I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
See, I don't remember Small Wonder being on that long, but it was a show I enjoyed as a kid, so that makes sense.
Recently found out it was 4 seasons. I think I did 2 seasons because it's like
I probably watched all of it. I don't remember much of any of it, but I know it was a show I enjoyed, just like I enjoyed the show Alf.
I did until recently.
My brother loved Alf.
I did until recently when I found out the backstory to Alf, and I'm like, I can't do y'all because y'all was trash. Y'all was straight up trash.
I don't know nothing about all that, but okay.
I'm not gonna tell you. Just take my word for it. That whole show was, and the way they treated everybody there and everything, it was trash. It was absolutely terrible. They treated everybody like shit.
Are you telling me
that Alf,
entertainment
the damn
doesn't
puppet,
treat people
they
good in
treated him like,
reality?
no, they treated the guy who controlled Alf like a damn king, and everybody else was just show up, shut up, say your lines, and leave and get out of my way.
Yes, do your job and go home.
If you can, just in case you don't fall through one of the damn 50 million holes we done put in the floor, just so we could pop up Alf.
You know you're working with a puppet and a little man in an outfit. Walk around the hole. You don't hear the Sesame Street actors complaining that there's puppets on stage.
No, we would never hear anything bad about Sesame Street. That's impossible. Also, Tracy, I can tell you exactly why I stopped watching Small Wonders. I think by that time I was starting to go into my common sense, and I realized there's no way you gonna keep this robot small. So how you gonna work around it? Just help me help you.
It's one of the dangers of casting a child as the main character. But that means you need to work them really, really hard, give them no time off. Don't worry about school. We'll get you a tutor. And we're going to put out a whole lot of episodes, and then we'll just string it along for 4 years.
Uh-huh.
Ask Blossom and Punky Brewster. Work you half to death.
And before that, Different Strokes and Webster.
And then they had to make laws that made it so you couldn't have kids under a certain age on camera for but so much time. So then you get Full House, and they go ahead and they hire twins, and they just keep switching the kids out.
Then you get Full House. And then it's so bad that show been on for so long that your older sister is more popular than both of y'all combined. The Olsen twins.
That's what stuff happens.
Anyway, we're done. Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm not sure about that after that kind of... You can find me here on the weekend. Thank you very much.
This?
Yeah, look for me here. But, just looking for me here.
And don't forget to go to BorelliEtc.com, learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to our United Core, Communities Build Movements. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Tracy Media on
Tracy Media LLC.
Patreon.
And buy her coffee. I think it's
back on Patreon, I think.
I don't know. Where is she?
But definitely check her out on YouTube.
And definitely check out on YouTube. She has put out 4 live videos in the last 2 days. So she is working hard, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Go ahead, Liz.
No, I was gonna say, y'all welcome to come to the website. Ain't much happening right now on the website because I have officially got my paperwork in for core learning. So the focus now is we are working on some of the bones and tendons of the course outline and some of the new content that we'll be putting out. So this is a big move for us. I'm really looking forward to it. Here we go.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're working hard, brother. You're working hard. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Tracy. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Did you just call this Tracy?
It must be the hair.
And Theus. I
Wow,
told you.
bro.
I told you, man. I'm just gonna stop talking. I appreciate Anna and Thea's. Bye. I'm out.
And
We
Tracy,
out.
we appreciate you.
We appreciate you too.
Off character had a problem using the N word. Huh. Imagine that.
I really did this show today. This sucks balls. This
It was pretty decent.
yeah. Bye.